know. It just looks... Do we want to plug this one in? But then, I don't know if...
I think it'd be okay.
Okay.
Also, I think we've used all the USBs.
Cool. Well, I can...
It'll do.
Unplug. I think my phone's okay. What, do you know what percentage it was on?
What percentage your phone was on?
Mm-hmm.
No. I did not look.
We're just gonna wing it.
Go hope for the best.
Like this. We're trying something new, so we don't have to be like, what are you guys saying? No.
Turned into an old Italian grandpa. What are you saying?
What are you guys saying? Sandy, water! We just go through an entire episode of SpongeBob.
Okay. There.
Oh.
I hear us. How do I turn the volume down? I hear us. And we're in a delay. That's
Cool.
a fun surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it? I think. Can't look too close at my head there, but
I was gonna do...
will it turn? Stupid.
Wait. Oh. Okay. Done. Shake it.
I think that helped.
Oh no. Shake it. Take your anger out.
Okay. It'll be fine. We'll just have it there. Us in so many layers.
It's so we can read. Sorry guys.
Yeah.
Remember, so you're gonna see this here, you're gonna see us there, and YouTube's gonna see only that. YouTube, you're special. You get one of us.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the world,
Getting so many iterations of Tory and Zoë.
it's really weird to watch the delay.
Right? It's messing with my brain.
But we're gonna be talking about books, guys.
Yeah!
Heck yeah. Loving the books. Cheese. I just wanted my cheese.
This is gonna mess with my brain so much. He's not gonna know where to
I'm
focus.
so
He won't be able to process
sorry.
any information. Okay.
It's fine.
Yep. It's gonna be great.
Okay. Howdy, partners.
Hey, y'all.
We are here to talk about a war book. Hoorah! No! That is crazy. No! I need to reel it in. I don't know what is
self-conscious
happening.
watching yourself here.
I am.
Even though we've been able to watch ourselves there the entire
Well,
time.
it's like it passes by and then I have to rewatch it again. And then I'm like, what sin have I committed before this audience? No! Thank God we're not on Twitch where this can get clipped.
Here, we'll just put that over us. That way we can just see the chat.
I can still see the... It's down there! It's down there!
We're everywhere.
Everywhere, all at once. But do you have any pop culture stuff? Because we always start off with our pop culture stuff.
Have you guys been watching the Olympics? I have loved it. It's been 80% of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the women's gymnastics, of course, because I'm a real American. What's the thing?
Is it
Some comments in this live were filtered. I didn't see anyone comment anything, but okay. Sure. Sure, TikTok.
Guys, you have to be appropriate. That is not how we roll here.
Did you watch the women's all-around final yesterday?
I didn't. I missed it.
Zoe, it was so good. I cried.
You cried?
Mhm.
Oh.
It was just so good.
Yeah.
It's like they're so talented and they've been through so much. It's like everything
Yeah.
Simone Biles has been through, everything
for
Suni
sure.
Lee's been through. It's just like the fact that they're up there is a miracle.
Yeah.
It's insane.
For sure. Somebody's commenting something because that keeps popping up.
They're probably being mean. So if it's getting filtered out to the point where we don't even see the shadowy one, then I don't want to
Thank you
know.
guys for the hearts.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. But yeah, I missed it.
Have you seen any of the other events?
I watched my mom watch tennis the other day.
How was that?
She was like the entire time, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she said, "It's going so fast. I don't understand. How can that be tennis? That's not tennis." Because it's like, bing, 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 bing. And she just, she was on one. Oh. No. It's fine. I'm gonna need to stir my brain after this.
That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen Challengers? That tennis movie with Zendaya?
It's people who are liking. I was like, who's liking?
Why is that showing up on there but not on here?
I don't know. I think it's because we're not the shelter.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
What is it? Belly? I got. Oh, my finger hurts. Thank you for hurting your finger. We appreciate you.
Yay! A real American.
Oh, I'm proud
USA.
to be an American.
USA. USA. Don't look at the delay.
This might be a mistake.
We don't need to read comments that bad.
I was like, oh, but this would be nice so we could read the comments as we're going, but who is that?
Belle.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, Belle.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Belle. Anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, the only other consuming thought in my brain is bedbug hell.
Yeah.
Had a bedbug problem at the shelter.
It's
And
not been fun.
we're pretty sure it's solved now.
Hopefully.
But also, I'm losing my mind because I'm like, they've somehow found me.
Yeah.
They've made it home with me somehow.
They've tracked me down in my own home.
They broke into my house. They're gonna get me.
The other, we were just talking, like, Tori's like, anytime, like, a hair moves on my body, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
I've been doing the same thing, because it's like, huh.
It's like I go home, go to bed, like check the box spring, check the frame, check under my sheets, and it's like there's no bugs. I did not bring the bugs home, but anytime I feel like anything, the air move in the room, it's like, ah!
They're here! They finally found me!
It's like, I'm never gonna know peace again.
It'll be years down the line.
Yeah.
#1 gifter badge. A
First
heart puff.
Thank you, Belle.
Thank you, Belle. Heart. You're amazing. We love you, Belle.
Belle, should we be best friends now? Let's do it.
Promoting you to moderator, Belle.
Yeah.
Good job. Claps for you. This is gonna be so bad. YouTube's just like, what are you guys doing?
We're just losing our minds. It's fine.
Update from Broski Nation. We are all dragon riders now.
Cool.
She's declared us. We are all from noble Valerian lineage.
Ooh.
And we all get our own dragon. So.
Congrats.
Yep. So. That was going on. And she's supposed to be at the Olympics. And I'm like, Miss Roll, I need to see you hosting more. What?
Yeah.
I need you to go
She
hunt
needs
some
to go
people down.
Find Snoop Dogg.
Exactly. That would be iconic. But
Go get one of his pins.
yeah, that would be so cool.
Do only the Olympians get to trade pins, or can anyone who
I think
finds an
anybody.
Olympian get a pin?
I think anybody. Oh, and then did you see Tom Cruise? I was like, you're still alive. Scientology hasn't murdered you yet. Because wasn't he like in a hole forever and just not doing anything?
I mean, I don't know that he was in a literal hole, but
Well, I would hope not. But you never know.
I don't think I did not see him in public as often.
Yeah, he was just like out.
I don't know the last time I've really like seen him in the public. Like he's done movies and stuff, but the last time I remember hearing about him was
I thought
like
that said Taylor Swift joined and I was like, it's Taylor Swift forever.
I got so excited. But also die.
Oh, thank you for sending a tiny dino.
A tiny
That's
dino.
so sweet.
I'm sad I missed it now.
It popped up. Belle's, you're going off the charts.
Thank you, Belle. We appreciate you.
Okay. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's been doing, but I saw this lady just like, Tom Cruise, and he's like getting like mauled into the crowd, getting pictures taken of him, and I was like, okay, that's cute.
You know what's been driving me crazy? The French swimmer, Leon Marchand. Every time he does a race, they're like, this guy, he's like, what, 19, 20 years old? They're like, he reached his peak at just the right time.
Yeah.
It's like he's beating Michael Phelps' records, and it's like he's reaching his peak at the perfect time. I'm like, you guys do know how old Michael Phelps was when he quit swimming in the Olympics, right? It's like, it's like, who knows? There may be a reason where he wants to be like one Olympics and done, but it's like, if he's doing that well his first time out, it's like, of course he's gonna be back for years.
Yeah.
It's like, don't lie just to spare Michael Phelps' feelings. He'll be fine. They're training with the same coach.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be figured out. Everyone's having a good time. My favorite thing from the Olympics so far had nothing to do with the Olympians. It had to do with the little rats watching. Like, did you see them popping out of the grate? They were just chilling. I was like, you little babies. You're just having a good time watching the games. I wanted to take all of them home because they were just like, I'm here. I'm having a good time. But yeah.
Celine Dion in the opening ceremony
Oh my God.
made me cry too.
Beautiful. So beautiful. The opening ceremony was awesome.
Yeah. It's like, I watched the whole thing, but my mom like went to bed halfway through, and it's like the next morning I was telling her, it's like, you missed this, you missed this, you missed this, and even just like telling her about the Celine Dion part, I was crying. I was just like, I'm a mess.
Jeez, and her accent was so good. I was like, how did you do that?
Well, I mean, she is like French Canadian.
Yeah,
so.
but like still though, it sounded so good. Just like, because you know some people try, it's like.
Yeah. Do we know why Lady Gaga was there?
I don't know, but she's
I've
great.
not been able to. It was good. I just don't understand. It's like, how did we end up here?
Bella's going off, sending us gifts and stuff.
Belle, that is so nice.
Thank you.
Do we know Belle?
I don't know. Do we know Belle?
Belle, do we know you?
I'm sorry. Do we know you?
Aside from us agreeing that we're best friends now?
They're gonna hop on and be like, it's Mandy. What are you talking about?
Mandy changed her name so no one would find her.
We don't have a lot of questions today, so that's why we're kind of goofing off a little bit. Sorry, guys.
It's like, we picked a very good book. There just wasn't a lot of, like, DB relationship stuff to talk about, so.
But it was, with everything that's going on right now, very woman-focused.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, we should do this one. The book next month is going to be fun, and I got some books that I hope we get to read at some point.
Yes.
But yeah.
We need to do like that video you sent me one point where we just like make a list of all the ones and put them in a tub. Do random draws.
Yeah. Did you see the book list that I sent?
Yes, that was so long, Zoe.
I know, but I wanted them to have options and like in case like they can just pull and like say here this is what this is. So all the kids, because a lot of those books were like picture books for the younger kids, so it's like, oh, okay, you can get those in like a bulk for like $20.
Yeah.
But then the chapter books and stuff started.
I seen your title and I've been through it and said,
oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Belle.
You're amazing. But yeah, I just all of our books and stuff. I think it's very important with what we do to like make sure even we're not talking about TV, like stuff like this is like we do focus on it and like do the idea that we talked about in drawing from a tub. And then there's some books that I sent on that book list that I think we should put in there too because like they were really good. I don't know if Boys and Girls Club is going to be allowed to put some of those books out though.
That's fine.
But we'll
I
see.
mean, worst they can do is say no.
Yeah, well, because I tried, like, I had stuff on, like, responsibility, I had stuff on, like, how to be kind, how to be a friend, how to be just whatever, but the race books, about like diversity and stuff like that. And then the
I would argue that those need to be there more than anything.
yeah, but like with the laws that are being passed right now, like all of that's getting removed.
But Boys and Girls Club isn't a school,
No, but
so they're not under the same rules.
they shouldn't be, but you know how that goes. But
I'd argue.
I would too. But like there was one of the books on there. It's like I Love My Hair or something like that. But it's because a lot of African American girls and like men, because of their hair, it's like a very different texture. A lot of people have no idea what to do with it. Like, and it shows. You like read it to like your kids so they know how to love their hair and how to appreciate their natural hair, because so many people do treatments and stuff on their hair to like make it more like.
I was thinking of getting
suitable.
AJ that one for Christmas, along with 12 million other things, because that child is spoiled.
It's so cute. I have so many
It's
really
like,
cute ones on there.
AJ is not black. AJ is my nephew. And he's not black, even a little bit. Whitest baby in the world. But it's like, I want to introduce you to as many things as possible.
Yeah.
Just so you've got a more broad world view than like what I grew up with, and probably you grew up with.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's that book list towards like downloading all of this, going to the library, like thrift books and getting all of those. I spent $600 on getting AJ as well in personal library. Yeah. You're welcome. It'll be worth it.
I love that child. I've already bought him like 3 Christmas gifts.
It's okay.
It was just his birthday last week.
I've done the same thing with Addie. It's kind of bad. She's like, okay, we're good.
I got him a cute little cardigan that has cats on it.
Oh.
It's like stitched into it.
It's so cute.
Like a pointel kind of thing, so it's like the little holes make up the cats.
Adorable. Oh my god. Slay.
Yeah, it came up in an ad, and I sent it to my family, and I'm just like, if this came in adult sizes, so many of you would be getting it for Christmas.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
that's
only the baby.
Yeah, like everyone's gonna be jealous. They'll probably, you probably made a mistake, because now they're gonna be like, Tori. Make it Tori.
I don't know how to do stuff like that, so
yeah,
that is beyond my realm of ability.
Rainy joined. Oh, Rainy from the book.
Rainy. Did you find us?
But yeah, I've bought Addie like 3 books already.
Maybe Michael Grant will join us, and then I can invite him like I want to.
Why didn't you talk about periods, Michael Grant? Women have periods.
Let's talk about feminine health.
Yep. And
it's like we can have multiple people be like disemboweled, but we can't talk about menstruating women.
Nope. But I don't know. I've got some stuff here. So we can get into it if you're ready.
All right, let's go. For those just joining us, we're talking about Frontlines by Michael Grant. Zoe, would you like to lead us off?
So, the first question is, what were Rio, Fraggy, and Rainy's...
Frangie.
Frangie? It's Frangie?
There's an N there.
Frangie. Yeah.
I read it as Frangie.
I don't know. We'll do Frangie.
Okay. Fraggy.
Fraggy. Like...
Craggle Rock.
I was like, Fraggy. My mind just like skipped over the end. So what were Rio, Frangie, and Rainy's main motivations to enlist in the war? How do you think their reasons are the same or different from boys who enlisted? So Rio is a 17-year-old, grew up in California, and she had a sister who died in Pearl Harbor. Because if you don't know, you know now. This is a book where it's an alternative history to World War II.
Where women were allowed to fight in the war.
So her motivation was brought on by her sister Rachel dying. And they found out on her birthday, right? Yeah, well, leading up to her birthday.
Was it the day of?
Because her mom was trying to trade sugar and stuff. I remember that.
Was it her birthday or Rachel's birthday?
Rachel's birthday.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to save stuff for Rachel's birthday for a cake. So her motivation is deeply personal and driven by like a sense of duty for her sister, her family, and her country. Frangie is from Oklahoma and enlisted to become a medic. And her father's injury left her family struggling financially, and so she saw it as like a way to support them.
Yeah.
And then Rainey is a Jewish girl and who wanted to destroy the Nazis because if I don't know how you went now, but the Nazis decimated the Jewish population throughout World War II.
Yes.
So she served as an intelligence agent driven by the desire to bring down Hitler and end the war. So, like, all of these motivations were, like, about patriotism and nationalism. So, like, many soldiers, like, including, like, the men soldiers, this strong sense of duty to defend their country and uphold this national honor is not exclusive to any gender. That is something that people feel today, is something they're going to continue feeling in any war that's fought.
Yes.
And then the economic opportunities, so like Frangie needed to have this financial stability, and it is something that like you hear so many people talk about, like and it's a running joke about how recruiters are like, yeah, you're gonna get a new car, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that, and it's like, okay, that's great. And like to like a kid who like might have come from nothing, I think that is still the same now. Of if you do this, you're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
And
it also, like, with the financial situation her family was in, it's like, this is a way for her to get to be a doctor, because she wanted to be a doctor, and it's like, this is a path to do that.
And then there's also, like, the social pressure and, like, propaganda of it all. Because, like, America, before we got into World War II, I mean, there was, like, a little propaganda and stuff like that. You'd see it, but we weren't in the war until Pearl Harbor. We were sending stuff off, but we were not actively in it. People were going to other countries and they were enlisting and stuff like that. So you did have Americans who were dying before Pearl Harbor. But when Pearl Harbor happened, that propaganda machine started like pumping it out. So like seeing that and having the media and like society as a whole like glorify military service, and really emphasizing this idea of bravery and honor, because like in the book they talk about the stars that everybody has. You have silver stars on to represent that you have a military member, and that was like all over. That is like one of the first things that Rainey talks about. Not Rio. It's not Rainey. Rio. Rio talks about is how they have the flag for her sister, and how everybody in her hometown has like tons of these. And when her sister Rachel died, it was the first star to become a gold star. And that represented
in her hometown. Not
in her
all of
hometown.
America.
In her hometown. The first one to become a gold star, and how significant that was, because like nobody else they knew had died at that point in their hometown. But like that is something that is like very powerful. That's very moving. And even like as they're finding out about her sister's death, her mom, she's like already like ready to go, and her mom looks at her and says like, no, I can't do it, like no. But she goes and she does it.
I thought it was interesting that like the book opens with the news announcement about the imaginary Supreme Court case, where it's like, oh, women have been approved to be drafted. But it's like all of our main characters here are women who enlisted. And it's just like, interesting. I wonder if like further into the series that becomes part of it, if more women get pulled in as like part of the draft as opposed to like voluntary people.
I'm sure it does. I can't remember, because I've actually read the second book, but it was like when it first came out, and there's 3 books in this series. Tori and I both have some issues with it. But we're gonna get into it later, but it was a really good book. It was a good read.
I really liked the book. Like I told you and Sheila multiple times, it's like I liked the book. It's
there's
like,
just some issues.
There's small things where it's just like, I want to fight someone. It's like, who was in charge of editing this? Was there a woman on this team at all? But all of those reasons that we talked about with them
those are all reasons that men can feel too, but as a woman, because before that, women, like, your primary jobs, you were a mom at home, you were a nurse, or you were a teacher. You didn't have anything. Yeah. And World War II for women in America, like, really changed that as a whole. So, like, even in our history, like, once Pearl Harbor happened and, like, you were sending, like, all of the young men off, all of the men who were eligible to work. So women started going into factories, women started getting into the military effort, just not on this, which I have the whole thing about that in one of our questions. Yes. But it is something that just, my thought, I don't know where it went. It went boop. But, like, they're all reasons.
Women went into the factories and
everything.
Yeah.
So, like,
trying to jog it.
Yeah. When we were in the factories and everything, and it was a big sign of patriotism here. But, like, here, being putting themselves into a role of where you were going out and you're being the protector, that was not a thing. So, like, every single one of these girls has a... They need to prove themselves, like, and you see that throughout the book. Like, they're being underestimated. They're like being like just openly sexist. Yeah, things are happening, and it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. But like, they have a lot more pressure on them. Like, this is a horrible situation to be in anyway. Like, the World War II as a whole, like, the horrors of it are crazy. Yeah, but to already having to deal with that, and then having to deal with, oh, other members of my team are treating me like crap, or they're not appreciating me, or they're underestimating me because of my gender. It's crazy, but
the joy of having 7 cameras around is it's very easy to fix your hair.
Yeah.
So many angles.
But yeah. That was. Do you have any more thoughts on that?
I think that covered it. Okay. Good job, Zoe. Good
Question
girl.
Number 2. USA. So question number 2. It is, which of these girl soldiers? Because that's what they're called throughout the book. That's what, like, the whole term, and like the narrator has a thing about that. Like, I can't remember what she said.
Do you learn who the narrator is in book 2, or is that something they probably didn't reveal until book 3?
It's probably book 3. But they call themselves soldier girls, so it's like, which of these girl soldiers do you find most compelling and interesting, and why? Do you identify with them? Why or why not? And, like, I really... all of them, like, are
in different ways.
In different ways. Like, Rio, she has a determination to honor her sister's memory, and, like, to really defy those societal expectations that are put onto her. And I think that is something that I think every woman can resonate with. Like, whether or not you realize it or not, I think we have all, especially since, like, this time, have all tried to, like, push the boundaries as much as we can to be equal and
you may
be seen
want
as
to
equal.
Your phone in.
Oh.
Is it gonna survive?
I think it might. See. Sorry, YouTube.
Please enjoy this nice view of Zoe's hand.
Jesus. Don't allow. Okay. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. But especially after this, even in, like, our history, like, women wanted to be treated equal. Like, they were working in the factories, and they were, like, doing all of these, like, manual labor jobs that, like, men were traditionally taking. And they were doing things in the war effort that women had never done before. So, I think Rio, most of all, like, I think I resonated with her. And it's hard not to when she's really the main focus of the book a lot of the time.
It's like, I think I resonated most, like, personality-wise with Rio. I feel like we were the most similar in personality. But I feel like if I were going to do a job, like, if one of their jobs, it's like I would have done Rainey's job.
Yeah,
it's
Rainey,
like I would have
think
gotten
into
so
much fun.
intelligence.
I would have been like, yeah, let's go. Frangie, I'm so sorry. I don't know why Crowd Rock is, like, trying to get in my brain, but it is. Frangie, she was really selfless in her commitment to her family. Like, because there are to put yourself into this sort of environment. Yeah. And, like, that was the thing, too. Like, they were not showing, like, images of war. So, like, they kind of just, like, oh, it's happy sunshine rainbows. Like,
And being women, it's like, I don't think they talk about it that they thought they were going to be necessarily on the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
and
Gino
they very
talked
much
about
are.
it all the time. It's like, we're going to be at a desk. It's like, if we go overseas, we're going to be in some, like, office somewhere flirting with the boys. And it's just like, no.
No, you were going to be right there in the middle of it.
Because it's like, we're at the point where, in regards to men, it's like men are getting drafted as these women are enlisting. And it's just like, we're in it. It's like they're putting everybody out there they can get.
Yeah, because it is horrible over there. But Americans didn't know that. Like, they hid all of the, like, horrible stuff. And so, like, you have these people who have this ideal of, like, what is going to be like over there. And then you get over there and you're like, holy crap. Because, like, I love World War II movies. I love World War I movies. And every time they go and they have this idealistic thing of, like, oh, I'm going to do, and, like, I'm going to go honor my country. And then they go, like, oh, I just watched my best buddy get blown up. Okay, cool.
Have you read The Women by Kristen Hanna?
No.
You should. It's very good. We just read it for other book club. But it's like, it was based on set in the Vietnam War and women who were nurses during that war. And it's like, they're talking about how, as they're over there, it's like, they're getting letters from home saying, this is what the news is saying about the war. And it's like, that is not what's going on.
No.
It's like, that is not what's happening here.
No. And, like, I think that is why, like, stuff now, it's so hard to hide the horrors of war like it used to be, because so many people have smartphones, and, like, that's, like, with the wars that are going on right now, and, like, we are seeing horrible images, and people are so upset about it, like, trying to make a difference and trying to make a change. Like, and people in America were already against, like, the Vietnam War. I can only imagine, like, if people were, like, bringing these pictures back and saying, here, like, how that would have played out. But...
And I mean, realistically, World War II, it's like, weapons are not the same as they were in the Vietnam War. Or war today. It's just like God.
Yeah, you were getting torn apart. It wasn't like, I have a bullet wound. It is, you were getting torn apart. But... just, I can, like, out of all of them, like, they're all, like, seeing horrible things, but Frangie, I can't even imagine,
in it.
Like, you seeing, like, people with, like, I can't even think about it, like, because...
having your childhood friend sitting there holding his intestines is like, ugh.
Yep, like, okay, bud, you're gonna be okay, it's, no, I don't know, but, that was... everything with her, like, that, just everything she does, very selfless person, very, like, I'm going to go do this, and, like, the resilience that she had to face, because that's a whole other thing. She is a African-American woman going over there, so she's, like, here's the men, here's the women, and then here's, like, a Frangie right down here below them, because,
good
like,
job getting her name right.
Yeah, they separated, like, they were segregated, and then until they were in the middle of something, and it was like, oh, okay, I'm here. But, you know, it is crazy. But anyway, Rainey, racism, not okay. Which is, like, so crazy. You're going over there and you're fighting Nazis. Who are, like, literally decimating a whole population, but you're just like, separate them. But, anyway,
America, we don't know how to take
it. Rainey, she had a desire to fight the Nazis, because, and her intelligent work, and everything that she did there was, just amazing. Her identity and, like, her determination to make a difference was, like, it really gave her a unique perspective on everything that she was doing. So, I think I would have preferred to be, if I had to go pick a job in this fictitious World War II universe, I'd want to be Rainey.
It's like, I feel like that's where my skills would lie.
Yeah, it'd be Rainey, Rio, and then Frangie, because, like, I could not do that.
Oh, no. I can't do blood.
Yeah, it'd just
like,
be like,
nope.
okay.
It's like, I get squeamish watching Grey's Anatomy. It's like...
Really? I can see that with some of the episodes. Yeah.
It's like, I'm fine for the majority of it, but it's like, the scenes where they're like, you're watching them do an incision, it's just like,
Meredith, you're literally inside this person's cavity holding a bomb?
Yeah.
Okay. And that one cop just, like, explodes into mist. It's just like, okay, we're all good. But do you have anything else you want to say?
I've forgotten what the question was.
It was just like who you preferred and like why.
Yeah, I think that covered it.
Sweet. Why do you think it is important to the narrator to tell her and the other girl soldiers' stories?
I think that it's important because, like, not only in the fact that like everyone's story is important. These people were all individuals living life, like willing to sacrifice their lives for their country. It's like their story deserves to be told.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's like we still today live in a patriarchal society. So, and like women's stories throughout history are so often hidden or pushed aside or rewritten or whitewashed or whatever. So it's like any opportunity to move women forward, it's like, hey, we are not just baby making machines.
Yeah.
It's like always good.
Yeah, representation and visibility and like being able to break stereotypes is anything. And like even though this is a fictitious alternate history, like having characters who are going out and doing these things and doing what they are. I mean, this is something like some little girl somewhere is gonna read and be like, I can do that. Like if they can do this, I can do that. So it's always great to have a great female group of protagonists. And then I really like that the narrator isn't automatically like here, but like who do you think it is? Because
I don't know. I was trying to figure it out at the end, just from the like little hints we have, because it's like they say something at the end where it's like you can Rio came to visit me. You can still see the girl that she was back in the day. So I'm like, is it Janelle?
Yeah.
Is it Strand? Is it someone else from her previous life? But then they know all this stuff about Frangie and Rainey too, so it's just like, who are you?
Yeah. I don't know who it is.
I thought a crazy twist would be, which it's probably not, if they're writing the stories of all the women.
Yeah.
But if like Rio's dad somehow got like drafted into it again.
Oh.
And it's like, here he is injured.
Yeah.
Telling his daughter's story.
Oh, God.
Talk about a dramatic twist that a man would write to make the man the main part of the story.
Of course. We don't like you, Michael. We're right. Sorry.
And the book was very good, sir. We just
have
you
issues.
are a man.
You're a man writing about women.
It's not your fault. You're just a boy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll forgive you, but also maybe fight a little. I mean, that's probably not what it's going to be. It's probably going to be a woman, but it's like, wouldn't that be such a dude thing to do?
Yeah, it would be a really dude thing to do. Do we want to ruin it and look it up?
Well, both of our phones are busy right now. And the iPad.
And my iPad. Well, the world may never know.
If you're in the chat.
Yeah, can you look it up?
Someone look it up.
Someone in the chat, narrator is. Who the narrator is in front lines.
Watch it be some character who shows up in like the third book and we're just like, who is that?
Who is that? Who are you? Okay, next question.
It's Rachel. And Rachel never died.
She forgot her name. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Just a new soldier entirely.
She never actually died. They identified the wrong body.
Yep.
And then Rio and Rachel get reunited in a European hospital.
What are you doing here? Dang. What a twist.
Right?
Okay, are we ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Okay, so although this is a fictional story, in what ways does this book represent experiences women actually have in the military? What roles did women have in World War II in real life? So I have a whole thing about women's roles in World War II.
Okay, do I have any important thoughts to share before you start your TED Talk?
Number 4.
I have a few small facts about women's roles during World War II that I feel like you're going to get into.
Yeah.
So, I think the book was pretty representative of women's experiences for the most part, minus the few things I'll talk about later that we also briefly mentioned already. It's like, why aren't we talking about periods? I feel like that's something literally
like the horror
almost every woman there would be dealing with.
Because, I mean, Sheila was very graphic with it, but she was talking about how, like, people were literally covered in their own bodily fluids, and, like, because you were on the run, or you were, like, having to go do something, so, like, and you were always uncomfortable. I don't think you could ever, like, be like, oh, I'm in World War II Germany, just, like, chilling with the bros.
It's like they go through everything in that pack list, but it's like nobody thought there should be pads or tampons in there.
There was a ton of socks, and I told Tori, I was like, that's what the socks are for. That's what the socks are for.
Obviously.
You use them as pads. But
boys can't write about periods.
No.
Just women in war.
Ew. And, like, the thing is, when I was looking up stuff, Michael Grant was like, I researched this book so much. So I can make everything so accurate. And it was like...
It's like, you researched the war.
What about women?
The Tunisian Pass.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, bud. Whatever. But, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, my name's Zoe, welcome to my TED Talk. So there were a bunch of different branches that women were in World War II. So the first one was Women's Army Corps, and this had about 350,000 women, and they worked and served both at home and abroad. But they had worked in about 200 non-combatant jobs supporting the war effort in various different, like, logistical and administrative stuff. So, like, they were there. And, like, before the war, like I talked about earlier, like, you did not see women in these sorts of jobs. You saw them as nurses or as moms or teaching. So, like, you saw, like, all of these different job fields, like, open up for women. There were also the women's accepted for volunteer emergency services, or WAVES. And in the Navy, they held the same status as naval reservists and provided support stateside. So they contributed a lot to the clerical duties, nursing, and other, like, essential tasks. And then there's the WASPs. The WASPs are cool.
Yes. I read about them.
Yep, so this was the greatest increase of women's roles throughout World War II. They were the first women to fly in American military aircraft. They ferried planes, they transported cargo, participated in simulation missions, and helped freeing male pilots for active duty. And then despite their crucial role, WASP were considered civil service employees and received no military honors until 1977, which is freaking crazy, because it's like, y'all saw some crap, but okay. And then, like, there were other roles. So, like, they, like I said earlier, like, there were about, like, 200 different jobs that women had in the military. So they were... What was Elizabeth? She was a mechanic, right? Queen Elizabeth was a mechanic in World War II.
I thought you meant, like, a character in the book. I'm like, I don't remember an Elizabeth.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth was a mechanic in World War II. So, like, mechanics, they were drivers, they were gunnery instructors, so, like, they were teaching people how to shoot. They were air traffic controllers, and they were even helped as translators. So, there were, so, like, the nurses and stuff that you see, like, there were service women who died. In the line of service, like, whether they were, like, being nurses or whatever it might be. But you saw about 432 service women died during World War II, and then 88 were taken prisoner. So, like, there were women who were, like, in the thick of it, seeing stuff.
Well, there were women from other countries, like, actually fighting.
Russia had snipers and stuff. Like, they preferred women to be snipers. But, like, American-wise.
I mean, who wouldn't? Women were great.
But, and then, just for a little thing, because, like, all of this is happening, but, like, in here, in 1948, Congress actually passed the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, which granted women the right to serve as regular members of the military for the first time. So, not too far.
Unite vibe? They said, you, Zoe.
Matthew? Mr. Matt, you better behave. I'm working.
Hi, Matt. I don't know who you are.
We play games together. I was wondering where you were. Jeez. He set a timer. You're late. I don't know what time it is. Behave. No, I mean it.
Okay.
Yep, but he set a timer. To be here on time, but he's late. But yeah. Do we want to move on to the next question?
Yes. Are you done with your TED Talk?
I'm done with my TED Talk.
We can step down off the soapbox.
Oh, she
into
said
another
19
soapbox.
roses. Oh my gosh,
No!
Belle. You are so sweet.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. Belle might be our favorite viewer.
Yeah. For sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question. What were we on? 4? 5.
Mm-hmm.
If women were able to enlist and fight on the front lines in 1942, what impact would that have had on gender roles in American society? I mean, it's an interesting thought experiment, but it's hard to say like definitively because it's like we have more equal gender roles now. We have women who fight on the front lines now, but we don't live in a gender-free utopia.
I mean, we might have. I think things probably would have.
I think it would have progressed
faster.
And I'd be curious about like the effect in like Congress. It's like we saw a lot of social progress around like the civil rights movement after World War II, and it's like how different would Congress look? What other things could have passed if it's like all these people that we have in Congress today?
Yeah.
If their parents or grandparents, well, not parents, their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunts fought in World War II.
Yeah.
It's like how different would the view, like the laws for women, and like all conservatives, how different would things be if it's like you have this example of how women are able to do all the same things.
For sure. I mean, that's really what I wrote about, was like expanded perceptions of what women are capable of.
Yeah.
A shift in gender norms, because like like women were running around in skirts and stuff. When I was looking at pictures, you see all these women, it's like, you cannot fight in a skirt. Are you freaking kidding me right now? And like getting down and dirty, doing all, that is not okay. But they like got better uniforms, so like fighting hopefully fighting alongside men a lot sooner, like getting past like all of these ideas that like, oh, you're only meant to be a homemaker. And then just the economic independence. Like you and I have talked, like sent each other so much stuff about like how women couldn't like do XYZ until like recent years. Like I can't remember.
And like to be clear, people of the internet, it's like we are not saying if you want to be a homemaker, go for it. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, more power to you.
That's great.
But it's like we know that traditional gender roles are a dynamic that plays into domestic violence.
For sure.
We see it all the time. That if we're talking about heterosexual relationships, it's like men will use the patriarchy to keep women in positions where they are dependent on them, and so they have no choice but to stay in these relationships.
Yeah. And there are so many people like who get held back because of that. They don't, and like they feel they get stuck in this loop of like, I can never get better, I can never go and succeed. And I mean, that's not saying that if this alternative history happened, that domestic violence wouldn't be a thing. That like none of it would be. Yeah. But like I feel like it's
like there would be more progress.
Like we wouldn't have to be like hopefully begging for funding. It'd just be like, oh, okay, like y'all deserve to get some help.
It's like, how much farther along could we be today if the journey had started in the 40s as opposed to in the 70s?
I thought I was about to like rub your leg. And like, sorry, hot tooey. Spit on that thing.
Please don't spit on my leg.
But anyway, Tori.
It's fine.
You're great. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. You're so smart.
Thank you. Please don't stop.
But anyway, like the social and just like legal processes that could just be moved forward. Like we've made posts about different legislation and stuff like that like is so important to like the work that we do and just like what we're doing. Like Tori and I were talking about before this live happened. I am
very careful where you step.
Yeah, I am I am that person who always goes ham. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna make sure I do all of it.
Yeah.
But there are things going on here where like some of the books on the list that I sent, they're not gonna go on the shelves, and I know they're not gonna go on the shelves, but at least I'm offering them. But like, it's not okay. But yeah. I'm behaving.
Alright. Any more for that one?
No, now we gotta talk about the lovey-dovey stuff.
What is Rio's dilemma regarding Strand and Jack? Do you think Jack is just a fellow soldier? No. I mean, I do love a love triangle.
Yeah.
It's a nice, fun story. But it's like, I want to believe that Strand could change, but I feel like this story is probably like lining up the pieces for her to end up with Jack. Because it's like, Rio is changing so much through her experience in the military and like the personal growth she is making and like what she sees for herself and her future. And it's like, Strand has known her whole life, so it's like he has one picture of who she is, whereas Jack only knows her from her time as a soldier. And it's like she may not end up with either of these guys. She may end up with someone entirely different that we don't meet until much later, unless there's a significant part of this in book 2.
But yeah.
Is there gossip in book 2? I should know.
No, but Janelle, you're working together. I'd rather you get with Janelle.
Oh. I was like, where is this series going?
No. Michael Gray could not write an LGBT love story. Can't even write about a period.
I mean, it would be a very man thing.
It would be a very, like, he'd be like, ooh, Janelle, she's so promiscuous now, she's got to go after the women. No. The lesbianism is infecting everyone. No. This is why we can't have women in the military.
Hypersexualized bisexuals. This is what we get for letting men write books. Why do we
Stop
allow
writing
it?
books, men. You're banned.
No more. You
Banned.
had your time.
Jeez.
Only girls are allowed to tell stories now.
I don't know, because the book we're reading next month, I don't think she should have wrote.
Sure.
But okay. Only certain
We'll make
people.
sure to
You have to be approved by me and Tori to write your little book, to do your little tappity taps.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I honestly think she should get with Jack if she's gonna.
Yeah. If these are our two choices, I think Jack's better.
Yeah. Let's go kick Strand's butt.
That or Strand needs to go through some extreme periods of
Therapy.
personal growth.
And therapy.
It's like saying, "Oh, are you done playing war?" It's like, boy, she's literally on the same ship you're on.
Are you serious?
You're going to the same
place.
place.
You know what Strand picks up, throws off boat. Oh no!
Oopsie.
Better kick your boots off.
I thought you knew how to fly.
Too bad. But yeah. You want to move on to the next question? Number 7.
Yes. Discrimination is a major theme in this book. What types of discrimination do we see? Do we see any signs of progress in the book? We see so much. There's so much going on. Which, like, yes, is historically accurate, but it's like, oh my god. It's frustrating sitting in it. We see sexism all over the place. It's like, people give the women such a hard time, and they're like, oh, you've got women doing this, and it's like, oh, we're not going to give you a real job.
Yeah.
It's like, You're just secretaries, even though you're here on the front lines with us.
Yeah, even though you just watched your friends
Yeah.
be disemboweled,
Mhm.
but it's okay.
And all the racism that French has to deal with.
Literally, like,
Mm-hmm.
like, do you
People
want
being
me to not?
openly racist, like, while she's operating on them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like,
what
I'm
do you
just
want,
gonna step
man?
away. I'm just gonna step away.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, you gonna
Go
take care of
ahead.
this yourself? Okay, peace out, homie.
like, that bugged the crap out of me.
Mhm.
I was like, what is wrong with you? Shut up.
Yeah.
There's the anti-Semitism.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, Rainey is Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like she's always fighting to like defy stereotypes and contribute to the more effort. Wouldn't it be something if like Michael Grant makes it to where like Rainey goes out and shoots Hitler? She's
We're rewriting history entirely.
entirely. Jeez. But then, like just the signs of progress. So like there are so many people because of what these women being in the military just that are pushing against it, and so it's like you just let them be, let them be there, let them do their thing.
It's like as the guys like in Jeannot and Rio's group, it's like as they worked with the women, they're like, oh, maybe women aren't useless.
Yep.
Maybe
Maybe you actually can work with me.
And what's his face? Gear.
I think it's Gear.
The progress he makes from being like so openly racist to like defending Frangie towards the end, it's just like
Good for you, bud.
good job. We love personal growth. Do we think it's a concerning depiction that as we're in a book about a war where the Jewish people went through so much, Rainey, our Jewish character, her dad was in the crime syndicate. It's like, are we concerned about the implications about Jewish people and stereotypes that he's perpetuating even as we're writing a book where we're fighting against Jewish persecution? Add it to my list of reasons I'm fighting Michael Grant.
Yeah. Michael!
Get
ready!
We want to have some words.
We get a letter of cease and desist from Michael Grant.
Please never read one of my books again.
Don't ever, if I see your name on a list of one of my books, suit immediately. Okay. Question number 8. Describe how Frangie's military experience compared to Rio's and Rainey's. Why was she segregated from Rio and Rainey? Because the military is
Because
stupid.
racism.
Why? I don't know.
You wrote that question.
I know, but why are people stupid? That's
Racism.
the answer. Racism. So like Frangie, so her role was like she was a combat medic, so she had to provide medical aid to wounded soldiers on the front lines, being like, oh no, can't go near the white people, sorry.
Best of luck over there.
You guys are getting really torn up, but you know, but like literally with all the racism, I would just be like, do you hear that? I can't. Sorry. But she was so selfless. She just like was like, okay.
Well, she was helping everyone because you know that's the medical code.
Yeah,
but it's like all the people going by, like, oh, a black woman's gonna give me a Band-Aid? Absolutely not.
Not a woman. A black woman. No.
No.
Even worse. But like she had to go through so much. But like it was just like the segregation of already having to like medics already like ideally in war you have them behind the front lines, so they like there's already that level of segregation from everybody else. Was that the situation for Frangie a lot of the time? No. She was like out in the middle of it. She's like, I'm going. But ideally they're supposed to be segregated. So you already have that level of stuff. And
well, it wasn't so much I'm going, like she initiated it. She just kind of was
she
there.
was just like there when stuff was going on.
They kept putting her there.
Yeah, and she was dealing with a lot. Like having to she saw a lot. And then being an African American woman on top of that, like it's just you're dealing with a lot, Miss Girl. Yeah.
Any more on that one?
Mm-mm.
We know that sexual assault and harassment is a problem in the military and in war. Describe the examples we see in the book. How do these examples compare to real life? Where to even begin?
Yeah. Do you want to read
There's
your
so
statistic, and then I'll get into my TED Talk?
I just sort of threw one statistic down in my notes. 1 in 16 women and 1 in 143 men experience sexual assault in the military, according to the Department of Justice. Or Department of Defense. Oh no, I forgot to write that last bit down. One of the departments somewhere.
Some department somewhere.
Yeah. And it's like, sexual assault is such a big problem in the military, but especially in this book, where it's like women are really, for the first time, being thrust into these positions in society. So it's just like all these men who don't know how to behave themselves and are suddenly surrounded by women, and it's just like, ugh, I hate all of you.
Literally take a spray bottle.
Get away!
But, so, military sexual trauma, that's about how it's usually categorized as. In the book, like, you see every single one of these women, like, encounter that by, like, them getting sexually harassed, coercion, you're, like, getting assaulted, like, and it's just like, oh, okay. Boys will be boys! It's literally ridiculous. Like, this is a person who is fighting for your life with you, and you're supposed to protect them, and you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what happens to Frangie with the... Oh, why is it going away?
Oh, the puzzle piece.
Puzzle time. With the... What were they? German soldiers who
them
came?
being disgusting.
And it's like she almost got assaulted. It's
like
that in and of itself is such a huge problem with war.
Yeah, like, I cannot even... It's horrible. Horrible. But this statistic, the real-life comparison for that, so, like, a research spanning from World War II to present-day conflict shows that MST is, like, very pervasive. So, like, the VA study found that 90% of women in the U.S. military experience some sort of military sexual trauma, which... The idea of that is freaking insane. Like, I don't know. And then, like, there's the gender discrimination. So, like, everything that they're having to do, like, already, we've talked about it again and again and again. We're going to keep talking about it again and again and again. That, like, there was that. And discrimination based on race, gender, and ethnicity has been documented throughout history. Even in World War II, female like soldiers who were doing all those jobs that I talked about earlier were facing discrimination due to their gender and race. And like they were in the middle of it too. You had women dying and like having to go in and be medics. Like women have always been seen as like the nurses in history. There are movies made about it. Like Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara is like in the middle of like the Civil War, like in the hospital doing stuff. You see it in there's Outlander. What is her name? Claire. Claire is in the middle of World War II France, patching people up, and it is like she has such PTSD from what she saw. Like that is something that they talk about in the series multiple times, is her having such PTSD from everything that she saw. And like she had to become a doctor later down the line, but like it was just like crazy. She's out there in the middle of it, seeing these horrible things, getting scarred mentally for that from that. And it's just like, I don't understand how people could do that. I really don't. And then in the anything that's doing with the Nazis in the book, there were like how Jewish women in concentration camps were facing like humiliation, like sexual assault, all of these different things, and like that is something that did happen in World War II. Like women endured unimaginable suffering and like tons of sexual exploitation and experiments. Like I am very into World War II.
I
and, like,
couldn't tell.
I know.
I wasn't
I'm
getting
sorry.
any impressions of that.
I'm sorry. But like
That's
the
okay.
things that were done to women in concentration camps, and like things that were done to everyone in a concentration camp, but women especially, is horrible. Like trying to make super soldiers with women, like they were trying to like see like all of these different things that they could do to a woman and like be like, oh, okay, this is so cool. Like, what kind of demon got inside your brain and was like, this is okay to do?
In other book club, did you read The Light of Days with us, or was that before?
I think that was before.
It was a book about women, Jewish women in the Jewish ghettos during
That would be
World War II.
interesting. What is it
It
called?
was The Light of Days, I think. Let me double check when we're done here.
Yeah, because I will read that.
I think I've got a copy. I can let you read mine.
Yes. What about
Be prepared.
Oh, I'm sure it's horrible.
It is. It's like there were multiple times where it was like, I'm gonna throw up as
Yeah.
I'm reading this. It's like, it took me
Just-
so long to read because it's like I had to keep putting it down because it's like I literally cannot process any more of this
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
horrible. Like when you look into like the medical experiments and just like everything that they did was wrong.
Yeah.
But, like the crap that they thought of doing, and it was not just the Nazis. There were other people who had camps and stuff during World War II that did horrible things, like horrible things. But just the experimentation done on people and what was done to people was horrible. But yeah, I would like to read that book, even though I'm probably going to be like, Tori, I can't sleep now. Thank you.
I'll get it to you.
Okay. Do we want to move on to the next question? We can.
Yes.
How would you describe Janot and Rio's friendship? Did it change throughout the book? Throughout boot camp? How so? So like, yeah.
Yeah.
It did. It very much did, which is expected. Like you were both.
It's like
growing
they're
as
both
people.
going through this like huge personal change.
Yeah, very traumatic personal change. It's not just like, oh, you
Yeah.
got married and you moved away. It is like you were seeing people die, I'm seeing people die.
Yeah.
We're both doing things that we never expected to do because we both thought
Yeah.
we were going to be behind a desk.
Janot thought she was gonna go flirt, and Rio thought she was gonna
Marry
drive
a
a
rich
truck.
man.
It's like, life is changing quickly.
But I mean, even though like their paths go differently, they both really their friendship is still there, and
if anything, getting deeper.
yeah. I mean, they encourage each other, like even when they're faced with like things like discrimination and like the hardship of it. But they're still there. I mean, I think even when, I mean, we see it so many times in the book, even with people that you don't know, and like, because like these are your brothers and sisters when you're out there, you're looking through family, when you're going out and you're seeing these horrible things, and like, it's good that they have one another, but I can only imagine like the stress of like, this is somebody I've known my entire life, and like, I've watched so many people die, so like, I think that like, relationship that they do have is even more ingrained into them because of what, that
It's like,
idea.
Janot's described as Rio's best friend, but it's like you read that first diner scene and it's like, are we sure Rio likes Janot? It's like, are we sure they're friends? But then at the end, they're like in these foxholes and Janot's like, I love you, please don't die.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh my god. Yeah. Just like I can't even imagine. Like.
And Janot's talking about like how her life growing up was so different, and
hard.
it's like Rio supposedly doesn't know what's going on at home. It's like she knows a little bit, but not like everything. And it's like, this is your best friend for how long?
Yeah, but you know how
And
that
it's
is,
like,
though.
yeah.
You know how that
It's
is,
like,
though.
I get it, but
Because like kids are. I mean, I've told you. I come in.
yeah.
I go to a daycare every week. I get a 2-week break this next 2 weeks. But kids are sneaky.
Mhm.
They like, and they don't mean to be. It's because of like they're scared to tell people.
Yeah.
But I was telling Tori, I came in
Mhm.
and one of my kids, I had no idea he was in foster care this entire time.
Mhm.
And then he opens up and says like all of the stuff about foster
Yeah.
care. And it was like, okay,
Mhm.
here's what we can do, bud.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for opening up to me. But they
Mhm.
have to like trust you, and like
Mhm.
even with what you're dealing with
Mhm.
at home, it can be really hard to
Mhm.
trust.
Yeah.
And like we don't know
Mhm.
everything that was going on, so like
Mhm.
there's no telling. Like
But the point is, the relationship is progressing
Yeah,
because
for
even
sure.
as
for sure.
best friends their whole life, it's like she's learning all these new things about Janelle, and it's like they're like becoming more vulnerable with each other as they're put in these horrifying situations.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any more on that one, Zoe?
Nope. That leads us into our next question,
It
though.
does.
Janelle mentions briefly that she has a difficult home life.
Mm-hmm.
How do her expectations back home influence Janelle's actions and decisions, and how does that compare to Kat's character?
Mm-hmm. What all do they say about Janelle's home? It's like they talk about how her parents.
Yeah, her parents just like or whatever, they don't care.
They're not super
Very
involved in
absent.
her life. It's like they say that there's alcohol involved?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like which one's Janelle and which one's Kat's. Because Kat's husband was abusive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Janelle is. Where was that thought going? You see the influence that her parents have on Janelle in sort of destructive ways.
Yeah.
It's like she is depicted as like a bit of a flirt. Like I feel like if it were a different time period, it would she would be hypersexualized.
Very.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you've got all this stuff going on at home. It's like she's not getting that validation from her parents,
Mhm.
so it's like she's looking for it.
And you get
From
that
men.
from men. And like we've had so
Mhm.
many books where it's like if you would have been a good parent.
Yeah,
And,
it
like,
saved us a lot of trouble here.
and things do happen.
Mhm.
Like experiences do happen even with good parents.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
let me clarify that.
Yeah.
But like just being there and giving your child attention, like
It's like she wouldn't have gone
diminishes
to.
a lot of destructive behavior. But
Mhm.
yeah.
She had parents who cared. She probably wouldn't have gone to war.
Yeah.
She'd have
Yeah.
been like, I'm gonna go find a rich husband
Yeah.
here.
For sure.
If she even would have cared about a rich husband, she
She probably
probably would
would have. She's probably just been like,
Yeah. just want to find someone who loves me.
yeah, which
Mhm.
like that in and of itself, because she's
Mhm.
never experienced love. When you think
Yeah.
about that,
Mhm.
she's never experienced love, so she's not looking for love. She's looking for a man who's rich, so she can provide for herself.
Yeah.
And get what she needs.
Because she's not getting that at home.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Any more on that one, Zoe?
Nope, we got 2 questions left, guys.
Woo! Zooming right on through. What does this novel show us about the brutality of war? What impact does the trauma of war have on our characters? Do you think women should be on the front lines of combat? Well, we've already talked about the brutality a fair amount.
Mhm.
It's like, oy, oy, oy. Far too many people's intestines were seen.
Yeah. Just like the trauma of everything that they had to see, like, and the
It's like
effects that it
these
has
girls
on their
are going to
brain.
be entirely different people by the time they get home.
Yeah.
And we already see a little bit of it from like the narrator of how they describe Rio
Yeah.
is like how we know her compared to the Rio that we
Is
get
there at the end.
brief descriptions of at the end.
Mhm.
It's like that is an entirely different person.
Yeah.
She's been through some shit.
Mm-hmm. And
And you can see it a little bit as it is, like when she like gets on the front lines. It's like she knew she was a good shot back in boot camp, but like when she has to actually shoot a person, it's like all the commanders being like, "Don't think about it. Put it in a box. Deal with it later."
yeah.
It's like you have to stay focused on this goal we're cutting out of your life.
Compartmentalizing.
It's like
But that's the thing is
Mhm.
like even into like we're in World War II time right now.
Mm-hmm. Still
Even
today,
it's
that's
still
something
today.
that people deal with.
PTSD and stuff like that is such, because your brain does everything it can to protect you, but everything has a breaking point. And like back then, like having shell shock, that's what they would call PTSD. Like you would have people just blank because they were so traumatized by whatever they had to experience. They had no idea what that was.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, okay, you need to probably be sent home.
Yeah.
But like, they wouldn't know how to deal with anybody. They're still in the, like, Vietnam, they had like no idea how to deal with these soldiers who were coming back after seeing the horrors of war.
Yes.
So it's just, I don't know, that the whole thing that is, because like one of the characters that they talk about is the guy in Rio's hometown. He
Strand.
No, the guy who was in the house, he was in World War I because her dad was trying to get her not to go.
Oh,
Sepsis or Septimus? Was that his name? Stampman, yeah. Stampman. But like
Septimus.
I think that's what his actual name is, like Morris Smith.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? That's not even close to the word stamp.
But Stampman, and like he was just very, and like he had, I can't even remember all his injuries, but he was like messed up.
Yeah.
Very. But like that happened with so many people, and like you just had like people who had no idea what to do with it, and then, I mean, still today, like people in the military don't get the justice they deserve for having to go out and like sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
But even here, you got even less, and I can only think in a post-war alternative history. I bet you, because women, like, you know, you're not getting paid crap. Like women still don't make money like we should. But like here, I bet they'd be like, yeah, like we gave Bill $5 a month, like whatever it is, like $5 a week. You get one.
Yeah.
Because you were probably like back here. I could see that crap happening. But yeah. You ready to move on to the last question where we get to rant?
Yeah, I've done a fair amount of my ranting already.
Yeah.
Frontlines is a story about women written by a man, Mr. Michael Grant. Do you think he accurately portrayed the female experience? Why or why not?
There are certain aspects of it that
there
are
was
good.
a lot of things that were good, but then little things where it's just like, I'm not sure you've met a woman before.
Yeah, and this isn't, the thing is though, that this isn't Michael Grant's first series.
Yeah.
He wrote, it's the kids all get stuck under the bubble and get superpowers. The Gone series.
Oh, okay.
I think that's one of the books, but like all the adults like disappear out of this town, and all the kids get trapped under a bubble, and it's crazy. I remember reading those, and then I was like, oh, okay, like this is another Michael Grant book. I love those books. But even the girls in those were just like, oh, okay, you're like weirdly promiscuous for a teenager.
Yeah.
Cool, you're pregnant. Great. And like that's just like, oh, okay, baby making machine, even though like, oh, whatever. And that's a trope in here too. Like, oh,
yeah,
she's gonna get pregnant, get sent home.
Is that a part of what's happening in here?
It is in the second book.
Oh, okay. Well,
I do remember that.
Have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Because I do want to read the other books. It's just, okay. It's like no one gets their period the whole book,
never.
which is unrealistic. The fact no one's gotten pregnant yet so far.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I mean, even in the military now, like if you get pregnant, which is not supposed to happen because you're not supposed to be in with anybody. You're not like fraternizing is not supposed to be a thing. Like you're out there.
Yeah.
You're running around. Those are your buds.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
When it's not sexual assault.
Yeah. But I mean that's happened throughout every war. Even if the women weren't there, like there are so many people who are like, I need to break some tension, and like kids from men who weren't even like living in that country are happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just
see what else
crazy.
am I mad at? I wonder how the story would have been different if the story was written by a woman.
Yeah, I feel like
It's
that
like
would have
he
been
made a
fun.
valiant effort, and we appreciate someone stepping forward to tell that perspective. Because who knows if it was a woman, if the story would have even gotten published.
Well, I looked so like period products back then are totally different from what we know now. Like we have Diva cups, we have like pads, we have tampons. That was not a thing. You had a rag that you would clean and use. I can only imagine being like a nurse on the front lines. You don't even have clean bandages half the time. Or you don't even have clean clothes. So like I see Sheila, who works here at the shelter. She made her point in her way about it, but I could see where it would probably be difficult to talk about, but it's something that needs to be talked about because it's something
because it's a reality that would have happened. It was a reality for the women that were there. What were the women who were actually serving in World War II doing about the periods the whole time they were there?
Like I'm sure there's something somewhere where it's like I had to do this, I had to do that, but. I can't even, like...
And, like, the pill wasn't a thing, so it's not like you could just take the pill and, like, not have your period.
Yeah. And, like, the pill doesn't even stop your period for a lot of people. It's just, I don't know. Like, and we were joking, and it was like, I mean, they'd probably just be like, okay, time for the hut. You're not going out today. It's time to go sit in the hut for a week. You don't come back. But I could see, with all of these characters,
and how Jeannot's like such a flirt. It's just like such a stereotype. It's like we're going with stereotypes as opposed to like full, well-rounded people.
Yep. And like even if you're not going to talk about periods and like having to change a pad or like your cloth, talk about them cramping.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that. That's gonna happen. Like talk about something like that.
Yeah.
Or like how you have like a headache that's splitting your brain into. It's a reality that so many women face. And that's oh god. Like I feel like if he did write about it though, it'd be like all of the women in the troop started their period all at once.
They bled for one day, they used 700 tampons.
That song, you're like 500 tampons. But like it's just crazy.
They filled a tank with tampons.
It's just crazy. Like just shoot. It's like, girls, you don't need your periods. We need it for cannon fodder. It's going in the tank. Don't argue.
Oh, I remembered another one.
Go ahead. They did that with Tootsie Rolls.
What?
They used Tootsie Rolls as to put in to shoot at the enemy. Cause
how would it not melt?
They put it. It was really cold where they were.
Oh, okay.
And they meant to send them ammunition, and instead it was Tootsie Rolls, and so they started shooting it at the enemy.
I wonder how effective that was.
I think it like made them run. I can't remember, but I do know that was a thing where they shot Tootsie Rolls at people.
Crazy. But at one point, he's describing Rio, and he's talking about all the stuff in her pack, and he like says that Rio weighs like 110 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
But then the next page says that she is 5'8".
So she's literally like, that's anorexia.
Like, wildly underweight for someone who is 5'8" tall.
Yeah, it's like
Skin
you were
and bones.
literally a walking skeleton. Yeah. Okay.
Even though she's described as like muscular,
very
and
muscular
boyish,
woman,
and tells her parents when she gets home, it's like, oh well, actually I've gained weight, and that like, it's like yes, we're at war, people are on rations, but it's like the military is feeding people. People are eating in the military. But she's 110 pounds.
Which like, like
it's like
crap.
We can't even have realistic body standards for women.
No.
In an imaginary reality where they're fighting in World War II.
I can only imagine. So like there was a very big effort in World War II when we finally got into it to like make sure that we had Thanksgiving dinner for our boys. And Tory, when I tell you, like, people were getting freaking decimated over turkeys,
Mhm.
like, getting blown up, because they would look for the planes coming in, because they knew, because it was, like, announced everywhere, oh, our boys on the front lines are getting turkeys. I can only imagine, like, Michael Grant being like, that is an interesting point to have. I'm gonna write that into my book, and it's like, okay, ladies, serve the men. Like, no, I'm good, Michael Grant.
Yeah.
But, like, there's all these different things that would be so...
And it's like I feel like in his description of Rio, I was, like, picturing her so much smaller.
Yeah.
Throughout the first, like, 2/3 of the book until we get this, like, literal in numbers description of how,
and it's
what
like,
size
that's
she is.
not...
And it's like,
okay.
how tall is Strand?
Yeah.
So it's like, they're talking about this, like, looking up at this guy, it's like...
He's like 6'10", just like, I'm here. Thank you.
It's crazy. And, like, how tall is everyone else? Because they don't talk about Rio, like, towering over everyone. It's like, 5'8" is tall for a woman.
Very tall for a woman.
Especially a woman in the 1940s, because it's like, people were
we've
shorter then.
Yeah, we've gotten taller.
Your phones.
Again. Okay. That's weird. But fine. But yeah, we've gotten a lot taller.
It's like, what? How did nobody catch this at any point in the editing process?
And then her age changes.
All the time!
Multiple times.
It's like, literally, how old are you?
Okay. It's a Gypsy Rose situation.
It's like, are you 16? Are you 17?
Are you 39?
Are you even a real person? Beyond the obvious, like, no, she's not. But, it's like,
Yeah.
But I was just flipping through when you were going through one of the questions earlier, and it's like, he doesn't have, like, a thank you author's note or whatever at the end. It's like, there's an author's note, but he's talking about, like, how much research he did. It's not like, oh, let me thank my editors and everyone who helped me make this book. So it's like, I have no idea if there was a woman on this team at all.
Probably not. Like, it's probably just a group of men, like...
A group of men saying, this is what women would have experienced during World War II.
I think this is wonderful, Michael.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't talk about periods. Those gross me out.
Yeah. So progressive. What a feminist.
When my wife gets her period, we put her in the she shed out back, playing Grey's Anatomy, and I just make sure she has endless mimosas. Actually sounds really nice.
Yeah, that sounds great. It's like,
Okay.
I think my family
Yeah, she
vacation's
should.
gonna be. Just go find a she shed. Alright. Anything else
No,
we want to fight Michael Grant about?
just being Michael Grant.
Yeah.
Michael 1v1. No.
Alright. Well, it was a good book.
Yeah, it was a good book.
I will be reading book 2. But
Yeah.
we are not reading book 2.
Yeah, I have book 2 if you want it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Next month, this month, because it's July already. No, it's August. Time.
It is August.
Yeah.
We're reading a really controversial one. Get ready, boys and girls. We're so excited. Are you ready?
Can you see it?
It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover.
Mm-hmm. The movie's coming out, so it's time.
Movie date?
Huh?
Movie date?
Yeah.
Ooh, everyone in the shelter. Mandy!
Yeah.
Buy
We all
us
need
tickets.
day off.
We're all going to go watch.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, this book in particular
Mm-hmm.
for her is a very controversial book
Mhm.
for lots of reasons. I'm sure we'll get into it. But
I swear, if it's like, I love Justin Baldoni so much, but if my TikTok in 2 weeks becomes filled with what are their
it's going
names?
to.
Lily and Ryle edits.
You know it's going to.
They're
They're
such
so
a perfect couple. Relationship goals.
You know what's
Oh
going
my
to.
god.
You know what's going to.
I'm gonna be so upset.
Like, oh, he's so possessive. He's wonderful. He loves her so much.
I'm gonna be so mad.
You know what's going to. It's TikTok.
I know what's going to. It's gonna make me sad.
We can hope, but it's going to.
But that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
TikTok just giving us ammunition.
Pew pew.
Join us next month.
Yep.
Anything else we need to add?
Nope. You guys are beautiful.
Yes.
Super smart.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Belle, for your many, many gifts.
Yes, we did. We appreciate that so
Yes.
much.
Mhm.
Follow the page. Stay
Yeah.
updated. We do this
Yeah.
once a month.
We're crazy all the time, not just on here.
Very unhinged.
Mhm.
Unhinged dedication.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll be going on vacation a little bit this month, so you'll get more Zoe.
Aren't you guys so excited? Yay!
Someone's got to keep the algorithm fed.
Yep. I've got some ideas already. Tori is gonna hate me, but it's fine.
Oh boy.
Yay!
Yep.
Yay!
What does that say? Why is it not showing up? It's fine. We're about to end, so whatever they're saying.
Oh, I think it's... Good job! Thanks,
Thanks.
TikTok.
Wow, we love affirmations.
We know we're great.
Yeah.
Thank you. But, okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.